Hi, I'm Tayla Harris from the Melbourne Football Club, and this is my tattoo tour. I'd say the average thinking process for me to get tattoos is like 3 or 4 minutes. No, I'm kidding. 3 or 4 hours. I feel like I process it in my mind very quickly. My first tattoo was these ones on my wrists, and they're my mum and dad's handwriting, and this side says, "Always here for you, love dad." This side says, "Love you always, mum." I think I just threw a notepad and pen to mum and dad and said, "Write something nice." And then they were a bit like, I think this is supposed to be kind of a sweet experience. But anyway, nevertheless, I have them right here, and I can always remember mum and dad with their sweet messages. But that started this whole thing. I don't think it was painful. I think it was a bizarre feeling because lots of people think that tattoos are like getting a needle, but it's not. Like, it's like a scratch, I guess. But I think I was just excited about the whole thing and thought it was cool at the time. And I mean, it still is, I guess, but it's less sentimental now when I get a tattoo. So Daisy and I have a tattoo together, and a moment before we won the Premiership that I had envisioned of what it would be like was Daisy and Mick holding up the cup. Yeah, I just decided that moment was the one that I really liked, and I wanted it to be really simple. So I just got the outlines of Mick and Daisy. Officer organised a large appointment for a bunch of us to go and get our tattoos, whatever we chose. A bunch got small ones, some got unique ones. I know Casey Sheriff got Daisy's signature. It was heaps fun. Everyone was just kind of rotating in. It was a rotating door. The women in the arena wear our as athletes. And the quote, Teddy Roosevelt, the man in the arena, very old, but I've tweaked it a little bit to be the woman in the arena.
Approach and that very familiar finish. The Blues have got the opener.
Yeah, I've seen a couple tattoos of the kicking photo, which was a really surreal moment. Some footy fans have showed me proudly, which is really cool. Like, I obviously think that that's a really special thing for someone to do of that moment, and I am aware it's the moment, it's the bigger picture, so I appreciate that I happen to be doing the kick, but I hope that it's for more than just that, it's for the bigger picture. Especially with the kicking photo, I probably disassociate with me being that image. Like, I think the image essentially is a moment in time when I reflect on it, so when I see it I'm kind of like, oh, that was cool, wasn't it? But I'm not even thinking of it as me. I'm kind of like, I remember that happening. But it's a bit of a strange one with that particular image that has been a couple times on people's bodies. My dogs, I've got several of my dogs. This one says, "When I needed a hand, I found your paw," which was cute. I just came across that quote and I got it immediately. I'm pretty sure I literally just walked in and said, I need to get this. I really like the idea of self-expression with tattoos. I feel like it's something that particularly hand tattoos, typically on women, were seen to be a bit of a space that you wouldn't even think about. And I really liked hand tattoos, and I remember in school I would draw pictures or whatever on my hands, and I think that maybe that's what started my like for hand tattoos. My fingers have a few letters on them. They spell oxymoron when you put them together. I guess the idea of an oxymoron is contradicting terms. You can spell other things with this. You could, if needed, you could just spell moron, or you could spell moo if you're at the farm. The reason I get them on my arms, particularly forearms, is because they're for me, they're not for anyone else, for the record. So that's why there's not many other than where I can see, like if I'm sitting down or eating or writing or something, I can very much see what I've got here. This is one of my favourites. It was an artist who I just kind of said, I like your style, can you do something? I didn't necessarily give too much direction, but he came up with this design, which I really liked. The phoenix on my hand, the bird, I was just waiting for a friend to do something in the city. Walked away, said I'll be back in half an hour, and I've walked into the tattoo shop and said, do you have time right now for something? And I didn't know what. And then I just kind of was looking and thinking, and I was like, oh, it'd be cool to fill that with some sort of animal. And I'm Googling like giraffe, because I love giraffes. That didn't suit the space. And then I'm looking animal tattoos on the hand, and then this came up, and we created some sort of version of it. But yeah, this was a real quick one. This one is the most recent one. This says, those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music, which I thought was A good one was my phone background for a little while. It was a quote from the David Bromley documentary that a couple of my good friends produced. I actually just liked, I don't really know how to explain why I like this quote, but I just feel like it resonates with me because I am often doing my own thing. I guess an example is I like to sew. My nan and I would sew together when I was younger, and I like to do that still, so that doesn't necessarily come to mind straight away when you think of an athlete, I suppose. An elephant on my ankle. So many years ago, Jordan Membry and I, who used to play for Brisbane, Collingwood and the Suns, we grew up in Brisbane, or in Queensland together, so played in the under-18 competitions, and I can't remember the circumstances, but we got the same tattoo together, so that's actually the only one I have with anyone else. Yeah. I should check in how it's going, how it healed. My advice I'd give to people is definitely think about it for a little bit and just make sure you're definitely wanting what you want, because the only thing that I wish that I could change is that I'd spent a little bit more time deciding, because I might have made a few more tweaks. I definitely still would have got it, but would I have made a little tweak to the size or the style, perhaps? Put it as your phone background for 6 months or a couple months, and if you still really like it, then get it, because I didn't do that. The other advice would be to not worry about what other people think about it. If you like it, it's your style, expresses who you are, then go for it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the tattoo tour. Hope to see you with full sleeves at the footy.